outside, so we have to pretend we're somewhere warm. Oh, it looks like it might have stopped, but it's definitely snowing.
Yeah, my car is covered in snow right now.
So, all right. So,
hello, all you cats and kittens. I wonder if I hope everyone's on here right now. It's so hard to tell.
I can't do this. If you're on,
give us a thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up button.
Dave really likes saying that quote.
I feel like everybody says that on YouTube these days.
I can't have both of these. It's not working.
All right, so whole setup here.
All right, we're just waiting a few minutes. We're gonna have our special guest coming on. It's 6 a.m. in Thailand, so they're waking up super early to join us today,
which is pretty cool. So we've had a pretty basic last 7 days since we were on here. What have we been up to?
We've been killing ants in our house because our house. So you see this beam behind me right here? It there's ants crawling all over it, and we'll be sitting on our couch and literally just have ants drop on us. And I'm not joking; it's the worst thing. So if anyone has an
tips,
idea,
tricks, how to kill ants, because they are coming.
Hey guys.
So that's our friends are queued up here, ready to get in. They might even have some good ideas about ants too. So I'm kind of curious to say. Here we go.
For our own question, like we woke up to about 70 bees laying in our house. So if anybody knows how to kill bees, that would be great.
Bees.
All right, bees and ants. Anyone that has some suggestions, just drop that in the comments. I don't know if we want to do.
Ooh, that's fancy. Whoa. No, probably side by side, right?
All
yeah,
right.
That's perfect.
Well, do you guys have a coffee? We have our cocktails. I don't know where I'm going back.
Actually, Robert, you might like this one.
Oh, it's
this is a shout out to the Steel Hands Brewery over in South Carolina. Coffee infused lager.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's what we need this morning.
That's what we need.
Thank you guys for joining us. I know it's super early for you guys, so we appreciate.
It looks like they could have alcohol in them, but they don't.
That's
there you go.
So
thank you.
For anyone that's joining, if you have any questions in the meantime, just drop them below, and we'll ask them towards the end. But
yeah, so we're just catching everybody up on what we've been doing the last week. So we've been killing ants, and tomorrow, believe it or not, Lisa talked me into starting a juice cleanse. I don't know what to expect. I've never done a juice cleanse. I don't drink that much juice ever in my life.
I've never done one either, but it's a 3-day cleanse, so that's going to be really fun.
We'll keep you guys posted on
We have
Instagram.
one bathroom in the house, so I can't wait. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we have Robert and Amelia. They are currently, if anyone saw our post, they're currently on a 1-year excursion to travel the world and visit every continent before they have kids. And their plans have kind of been derailed by coronavirus, which I think everyone's plans have been derailed by coronavirus. But we wanted to just introduce you guys and hear kind of your story, your own words of, why you're on this journey, where it started from, and yeah. Ben?
So this was like a trip, like so many years in the making. I think we started planning it like as early as 2016, the year we got married. We started thinking, do we want to put a significant amount of money down on a house? Started thinking about having kids, but instead we planned for this. So we had quite a bit of debt to pay off between like our cars, our student loans, some credit card debt in the time. We were getting into the points and miles game. I think we took over a year to pay down that debt, and then actually started saving for the trip. So we get a lot of questions on if this was like a trip purely funded by points and miles. And no, not really. Like we took a lot of time to save money so that we could really enjoy ourselves and not have this traditional backpacker hostel to hostel trip like a lot of people do. but we used the points
that.
to like fund luxury. I guess you can call them We call them mini vacations, right? So we do all these. We do all this running around. We'll go from country to country and hit it really, really hard, and then we'll find like a great redemption in a Marriott, and then relax for a week, and we'll call it our vacation, which is ridiculous, but
I love it.
It's like
the origin
dream
story.
life, man. I'm so jealous. Like I wish I could be doing that. I wish I could have been doing that, up to kind of where we are right now. It's been so crazy. And I always love your guys' photos and pictures on Facebook and Instagram. Always super jealous. These guys, if you don't know on Facebook, these guys are killer points redeemers. The Wellses. They always find these great redemptions at these Marriotts. They're so beautiful, and I can't wait to talk a little bit more about that. Have you guys been following the news in the points and miles world lately?
Yeah, a bit. I think what I'm most interested in was, well, obviously, like as a heavy Marriott Power user, I was really anxious to see what they were going to do to extend status, and they did through. I think your 2019 status is now current through 2022. Is that correct?
Yep. Big news. I know. I'm Platinum Elite. Are you Platinum Elite or Platinum? Are you Titanium?
I'm Titanium. Yeah.
Ah, so jealous. So
That's
so
what
for those of you that don't know, oh my God, the best part.
I started traveling for business in 2016, so that's really how I got it. This is before. I'd say 2016 was like the origin of my point collecting, and I started doing it for business. And then I realized, and then that's kind of where I got my start into collecting other points and miles. So I could start saying, oh my gosh, like I can leverage this card, and then come up with your, as you guys call it, your basic travel strategy, right?
Oh yeah.
About where to start. Of course, plenty of people make mistakes, right? Like I could have opened different cards right at the very beginning. I could have understood the fit to chase 524 rule better, but overall, I understood it. And then I started supplementing my business travel points with leveraging credit card bonuses. So that's how that started. I guess that's our origin of how we got into points, right?
Yeah, I mean, it all kind of started with like I was just giving you away for a week at a time, and then we were like, man, maybe we should cash in on this a little bit, get something out of it. Spend half my life away from this guy, might as well use it for something eventually. So it was kind of born there, and then Rob is somewhat fanatic about everything, so when he gets in on it, he's like, this is the greatest thing ever, and I'm gonna keep going for it. And I mean, it's worked out great for us.
Yeah, Dave's like literally the same.
It's addicting.
It's so addicting.
And I was so apprehensive at first too. Like when I'm like, really? Like this credit card is I'm gonna pay this fee and they're gonna give me all of that back? Really? Like
Have you ever
can't be true.
Box and you spent 99 cents and you get this super redemption? It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, it's insane. So yeah, I'm loving the Marriott updates. That was a big win this past week, February 2022. We actually are supposed to be, I think tonight or tomorrow night, we're supposed to be staying at the Tambo, which was a recommendation by Matt Brown. We got it at 35,000 Bonvoy points before it went up. And that place, if you haven't seen pictures of it, Tambo in Cusco, Peru, it looks so beautiful. Like it just looks like an oasis in the middle of nowhere. So I'm really sad we're not there. I'm hoping that one thing that Marriott didn't speak about, or maybe they did in like the terms and conditions, is if they're going to match prior reservations that were booked before they increase those categories. So I'm curious about that.
You had some luck with that, didn't you? When we stayed in Dubai.
Dubai.
It
all blends together.
At the Al Maha property, when we booked just before they implemented the seasonal point redemption.
Yeah, but I think that was the previous major price hike for Marriott in terms of points. We slid into the Al Maha resort before it went up to the category 8. We reserved it ahead of time. I don't think that's the same thing though, right? You're talking about the most recent update of category changes, right?
Yeah, they had done one maybe 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
Yeah, it was March 3rd
March 3rd.
or 4th.
To get kind of hosed by that decision, but I think eventually they're going to honor it just because of the situation of the world. I think they'll probably end up honoring the previous category.
I hope so, because they told me that they wouldn't. We had a rebook at the more expensive price. So I have the Marriott. What Marriott card do I have? The Brilliant card, the $450 one with Amex, and mine has a 50,000 point certificate night, but Dave's is only 35,000. So if we were to stay again, we would need those certificates. And I was kind of considering canceling the card because we're not really traveling right now, and it doesn't really give, I don't know.
You haven't. You must have not read my article about that I posted about why we were keeping the cards open. Killing me, man. Killing me.
So anyway,
yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense to keep it open because we're a Platinum Elite till February 2022, and we have a boatload of points and certificates to use. Like, we're gonna double down on that. We're gonna get huge value. I actually was curious about this. I called to see if they had any retention offers today for my Marriott Business Amex card. They didn't have anything for me, which is fine. But they have, I don't know if were you SPG before?
No, I never was. But if you remember, like in the days pre-merger, that you could take Marriott points and use them against SPG and vice versa.
Yes.
I did that a few times at like some properties in Napa Valley. When there were some properties in Napa Valley that we really liked going to, they were only SPG. I moved Marriott points. I remember the old days where you had to move Marriott points to SPG. Man.
Yep. You used to be able to move one SPG point to Marriott for 1 to 3.
1 to 3, yeah.
A crazy like a transfer of it created so many opportunities. But so a really good hack back in the day that I loved that was kind of like on the DL. The SPG business card through Amex used to give you lounge access without status, just having it open. So you would be able to go to the hotel lounge, like the Sheraton and some of the other SPG hotels, and access the executive lounge without having any status. And it was like kind of like a secret hack, but we saved so much money, like specifically targeting those hotels on one that comes to mind is the Sheraton on the Big Island, the Sheraton that is in Kona, and it's famous for the manta rays. And we had like free breakfast, free lunch, and complimentary drinks and beverages every night. And Hawaii's expensive. Like that was a big deal, and that was back in the day. So
that's an amazing perk. I'm sure they wiped that one clean since then, right?
Oh my God, yeah. So
they don't even do SPG branded cards anymore. So
no. So it got turned into a Marriott card, and the annual fee has like secretly gone up like a little bit every year. It's $125 now, and the certificate's only worth 35,000 points. But even still, $125 for 35,000 points cert is worth it to me. You know, I've gotten value. I stayed at the JW last year in Chicago, and nightly rates there were like $450 the weekend that I was there. And I used a 35,000 point cert 2 nights in a row and ended up saving like $800 or $600 because I paid $100 per certificate. So yeah, crazy value. I love it.
Can I cue you up? Can I cue up one of your stories? You got to tell one of your great mattress run stories for getting Marriott points, like you posted last year.
Oh my God! Yeah, I should tell them. Can I get out? Can I save that one for later?
Oh yeah, sure.
Mattress runs. Yeah, the status is key. That's what it's all about, guys. If you want to get status, shoot me a DM. We'll talk about status. I love status.
That I was mad at him about getting last year.
Yeah, we had a lot of arguments here at the house about whether or not Platinum League status was worth it. It was a whole debacle.
No, we like status in this house.
Yo, guess who's platinum elite till February 2022 though?
I like the status, but I didn't like paying for a room that we weren't staying in, and I just wanted to book places and stay them to actually get. Like, I just hate. I don't know. Whatever. We'll talk about that later.
It was a good one.
I'm with you on that a little bit. Staycation.
Right? Like, why? I would just rather stay somewhere and whatever.
We had a couple other updates this week. We had Wyndham. They extended their status. I do like the Wyndham program. It doesn't get a whole lot of respect, I think, in the points and miles world. People don't talk about it very much, but they do have some sweet spots with their hotels. I've gotten some pretty good use out of my Wyndham points over the years. But they're offering free status for anybody that is an essential worker right now. That's kind of big news. Some people that have never had status before don't even know about points and miles. Maybe this is like the thing that will kind of get them into the hobby. And I kind of offered it up if anybody knows anybody that is an essential worker that is all of a sudden getting this status, like what they can do with it. And I'm thinking in my head like a Caesar's Awards match and kind of just going down the rabbit hole of points and miles. And I don't know if you had seen my article about this, but we kind of started a stir in the points and miles world. About a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, we had gone through our American Express Hilton Aspire statement and saw we each had a $250 annual fee credit. And it was kind of like out of the blue. Like we didn't know what it was about. We thought that they were offering the credit back because we weren't using it because of the whole pandemic. And I wrote this article kind of just, seeing like kind of playing it out like maybe they were offering it to us, maybe they weren't, so on and so forth. And that article was like reposted by Dr. Credit and a bunch of other blogs, and they like cited us on that. And all of a sudden, American Express reached out to us via email and said like, hey, like you're not actually getting a credit for the pandemic. Like hold your horses. Can you please like edit your article? Because apparently I think their phones must have been getting blown up about like people asking for retention credits. But their explanation didn't make any sense for us. They said that they never gave us the credit in the past and they made some mistake, but we've always used our credit. Like we're really good about, making the most of all those credits. So anyways, I got a check in the mail for $250 a couple days ago. Lisa got hers direct deposited. And that's that. So I just want to share that story because I think it's kind of crazy. I guess we can move on to our interview. How are you guys feeling? Are you feeling good over there?
Yeah, I had a cup of coffee, so I'm good now.
All right. 7 a.m. It's all right.
It's 6 a.m.
Is it 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sunrise now.
6:20.
We got some light outside.
Oh, that view is just terrible.
I was gonna do it outside, but there were bees just swarming everywhere. I was like, yeah, probably not.
That's a bummer because that's a really nice view.
For everyone that's just joining us, that's on Facebook Live right now, please keep posting questions. We're going to get to them in a little bit. We're about 20 minutes into our weekly live, and we're just kind of recapping points and miles space, what's been new, what's going on, what's new with us. Our guest tonight, the Welleses, on the Wells World Tour. Loving it. We're going to post links to all their socials after this. So we're going to ask some questions, do a little interview, and then we're going to go over the questions from the group members. And hopefully we can keep you guys entertained here during the COVID-19 and quarantine and cocktail evening that we're having here in Buffalo, New York. And where are you guys reporting from?
Koh Samui, Thailand.
Koh Samui. We have a story about that beautiful island. You guys definitely know that story.
I think that's where Dave jumped off the dirt bike when I was driving and I crashed.
At least we're going up a hill. And
we just can't shift and leave like that.
I saw this story and I wasn't allowed to defend myself, but I did not talk about
Yeah, she did.
No.
If anybody knows about Thailand, riding these like these bikes around is dangerous. It gets crazy out there. Like people have no regard. They're just flying through the streets. Like everyone's riding these bikes, and it's like bikes and tuk-tuks every single direction you look. And some of the bikes are good. Some of them are horrible. Like you never know what you're getting. The one we had was okay. I forget where the heck we were going. Oh, we were in Koh Samui. We were going up like a giant hill to get to some like hotel pool that was supposed to be really nice, like an infinity pool somewhere, right?
I don't remember where we were going. I'll just always remember that you almost killed me.
I don't know. You get the story from there.
No, that's it. Dave
I
never
almost killed
apparently
her.
rode a dirt bike in his life growing up. I grew up in the country on dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and it's uphill and I had a turn or something, and he just decided to hop off, and I didn't expect the weight to be thrown that quickly. So of course the bike just falls over on me because I was balancing to include his weight, and
we almost went down the side of a mountain. So that was that.
How you rented 2 motorbikes.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever rented one again on any trip we've been on.
Never?
No, I think we did in Greece.
Yeah, we went. Lisa was so stubborn in Greece. She wanted to rent a bike, despite the fact that we didn't have an international driving permit. It's a whole other story. But she literally like was going in back alleys like looking for bikes. She finally finds one, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I'll just take your license and like $20 or $40." And that's it. So she gets this bike, and this bike was so beaten down, like I could walk faster than the bike. Like it had no juice to it whatsoever. Like the engine was dying, and Lisa couldn't even like by herself on the bike couldn't even go up it like a little incline. Like the bike just starts going backwards. Like it had nothing. So it was terrible. We don't have good luck with bikes.
No.
Anyways, moving on. So. We heard a little bit about your origin story. I have a question. How did you guys first meet? Was it points related? I don't think it was, because you said you started getting into it when it was business travel.
We were neighbors, and we were not friends.
Okay, there's something there.
But yeah, Rob lived above me in student housing, and he had a neighbor that invited me to a party one time, and we met, and I don't know.
How old were you? Were you legally able to go to that party? No.
I was 19. And I just kind of assumed Rob was 21, and he just kind of assumed I was 21, and we didn't talk about it for a little while. And that's how we ended up married with a 6-year age difference. So.
Like, how old are you?
How did you find out about points? Like, how did you get involved with credit card points?
I think originally, like I think I mentioned earlier, right? Like when I started traveling for business, I started seeing, I think I probably started with like co-branded hotel cards, just because that was what I was most exposed to. And then also like co-branded American Airline and Citi cards. And kind of, I think a lot of people make the same easily rookie mistakes, right? Because like for me, I saw it, didn't do a lot of research into it, said, oh wow, like whatever this X bonus was, it was probably like something like 60,000 AA miles, right? For whatever the minimum spend is. And I opened it, and then I realized later, you know, how lucrative Chase was, and like I could have gone back down that way, but I was just exposed through traveling. And then I got involved, you know, our friends at 10X, obviously, you guys are a great resource, and I just learn more every day. I mean, it changes every single day. There's something better.
Yeah, it's definitely like a fast-paced moving world. Like there's just always changes, and I think that some people always jump to the gun and think worst case scenario, and like the world is ending in terms of points and miles. But there's always like the next thing, right? The next card, next point redemption, the next sort of sweet spot in the rewards programs.
You guys I think I've seen you post a photo too. Like we'd have friends come over to our house. Like in my office was never clean. And I would just have these credit card. It would look like, I don't know, probably looked like I was doing something illegal, right? Like, oh my gosh, 20, 25 cards laying up there. Just, I was labeling them or organizing them, and someone's like, "What are you stealing credit? Like, are you stealing people's identities?"
Ritz Carlton sent us a card in this like fancy
Remember that box?
thing. I don't know.
Oh, we have a shoebox, but all the hot cards, they go in this thing. This is like supposed to be for business cards. This is literally just straight up credit cards. This like whole thing. And then I got my daily cards. Just hanging out.
Ours is something along those lines. And then we like rifle through them, and we're like, we use 2 of these cards on a daily basis. Why would we have them with us?
Right. Yeah, that's the tricky thing. Is like thinking about which cards to carry with you daily. And I swear it happens to me all the time. Like I'll be out somewhere. I'm like, oh my God, I could be getting 4x or 5x points right now. Like, why do I not have that card on me? And that's like, that really like, that, burns me. Not getting the most points for my spend. These are real problems we have.
And you guys have been in Thailand, so you know kind of to some extent it's just the restrictions on paying with plastic here. It's not necessarily a thing unless you're at like maybe the Tesco. And if you have a certain spend limit, sometimes at convenience stores, but nowhere local is taking your credit card.
Yeah.
Actually, this will kill you. This will kill anybody who cares right enough about this. But the first, we booked this villa through Airbnb originally. And then, so obviously I used my Chase Sapphire to get the 3x points on it. But when he re-upped with me, because I mean, everybody on this island, I mean, we're going to get to this, right, about COVID stories, but everybody on this island is desperate for accommodation. And there's actually a new law in Thailand, like banning new accommodations. So people were desperate to get renters, especially ones they already had in their houses. But they would not let me pay with credit card. Like I had to go to the ATM and pull over $1,000 in cash out.
What?
Wow.
Oh my God, that's a lot of baht.
Begged him. Yeah, it's a ton of baht. It's like 35,000 baht.
Yeah.
And I can't even, like, most people can't pull up that much cash in a day. I don't know. I mean, Chase won't let me pull that much cash out in a day. So I had to explain to him, like, I don't know where you want me to get 35,000 baht, like today. Like I can get it over a couple days.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane. What were you using to pull the cash? You got a Schwab card or SoFi?
No, I have just a Chase card.
Oh, Chase. Okay.
Just a card.
I had to get to a product that I wasn't getting dinged on ATM fees. Julie, she really hates it, or she really beats me up for it.
Oh, I hate ATM fees.
It was one of the oversights before we left the U.S. I had my credit card game in order, and I just did not think. It's a cautionary tale for sure. Like I did not think about my ATM and banking situation and pulling cash out. And yeah, for months I got dinged very badly on ATM fees, and it just added up. You just don't think about it. It's like a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, but it's a huge cautionary tale to get something like Schwab or a SoFi card.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Lisa works for SoFi now. I saw her in a commercial.
Yeah, she's international.
She's internationally famous.
Can't wait for the royalty checks to start coming in.
I know.
Yeah, right. I was really just trying to win like the 25,000 or 50,000. I don't know. They were doing some contests that I entered, and then they emailed me and were like, "We're going to use this for marketing." And then I saw myself on TV, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's what they use." But
I did a huge double take. I was literally sitting here making breakfast, and I was watching CNN, right? And then all of a sudden, I see Lisa's face in the screen. I was like, "What was that?"
Yeah, I was definitely. Lisa's on the news.
That's so funny. Lisa, international SoFi rep.
It's crazy. Yeah, I should.
You should have your SoFi card out right now.
You really should.
Yeah, when in doubt, use SoFi.
Sponsored segment.
Let's take a second to talk about our host here tonight, the SoFi Securities. All right.
So why don't you guys tell us what your plans were for this trip, and then we'll get into how you're being affected from coronavirus. So where were you supposed to be right now, or did you plan that far ahead? What was your, I guess,
take us
goals
from
of the trip?
Kind of like where you started, how you got, like where you've been so far on this trip, and then like kind of like how it came to a screeching halt?
It's so all right. So it was purposely planned to be very like almost planned to have no planning, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
So obviously we planned our origin very carefully, right? We booked tickets out of Houston on an American business flight to get to Paris. So my parents actually started the trip with us. When I was a kid, we lived in Paris for several years. So it was like kind of an excuse for us all to go as a family over there, like see some old friends, see some old sites, like really show. We went to Paris on our honeymoon, but Amy, we really were only there on a layover. So she really didn't get to experience it correctly. So we got to spend about a week in Paris, and then we knew we were going to hike the Camino de Santiago.
Okay.
So that's a pilgrimage all across Spain that takes around 35 days. So we did Paris, we went south, did our hike through Spain, and that was literally as far as we planned. So at the end of the hike, and this is, I don't know, maybe like 40 days into the trip, we got to a Marriott just kind of to celebrate living in, hostels for the last 35 days, right, on the hike. And we literally said, all right, where do we go next? And that's a conversation we've had so many times. And it's a lot of fun because you're not tied down to anything, but it's also kind of scary sometimes. I don't know if scary is the right word, but it's definitely a bit overwhelming to sit there and literally have open Google. This is literally how we plan. We'd open Google Flights and like look for the best cash deal, especially if you're in Europe. Like Europe and Asia have been two regions that you guys know, right? You can book a Ryanair flight or one of these Southeast Asia carrier flights for pennies.
Oh yeah.
Wherever you want. Like, there's just no need to do advanced planning because you don't get punished like sometimes you do in the US for waiting. You could book a flight that morning and go to the airport that afternoon if you find a good deal.
We kind of I guess our plan to some extent was just to move in one direction, so we didn't do a whole lot of backtracking because obviously the long haul flights are harder to get, a little more expensive, and just more tiring. So it's easier to just kind of stay within the same time zone.
So I guess we
go ahead.
Oh no, so the plan was to move from west to east. Generally, I guess right now we were supposed to be in Sri Lanka. We applied for a Sri Lanka visa, which is free, but you still have to apply for it, kind of an on-arrival situation. Mm-hmm. The major countries we had left that we wanted to accomplish was Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, and Nepal, and
in India.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess India. We were in Myanmar when we decided to make this decision to go. We spent a lot of time like planning for Myanmar. Myanmar was an incredibly difficult visa to get. It was complicated by coronavirus. That was one of the first countries you had to obtain a health certificate to get into. And because we were in Laos at the time, Myanmar had an embassy right in the city that we were in. So it was relatively easy, but it was new to them too. So they said, you need a health certificate. And I said, where do I get it? They said, I don't know. I said, okay, great.
We spent a whole day going to medical facilities in the midst of a not quite pandemic. It wasn't elevated at that point in Laos. Like we went to government facilities. We went to 2 different embassies, and we finally found like a walk-in clinic. I was like, sure, $4. We'll tell you that you're fine.
Oh, wow.
The test was troubling. The doctor looked at us and said, you guys don't look sick. I said, oh, okay. Thank you. So anyway, the point of the story is like we spent an incredible amount of time getting this paperwork together. We get into Myanmar, it's pretty pricey visa. I want to say it was like,
I think we spent 80 between
like
us.
$80 or $100 each.
And then obviously transport to go train all the way down from Bangkok and then come. Oh no, we flew to Myanmar.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
my life. I don't know where we're at ever.
So we make this crazy. So Thailand is going to virtually shut their borders. And I think you guys saw this video on our Facebook, right? Well, we made the decision to take the last flight out of Myanmar. Yeah.
Yes.
And this involved like literally sprinting. I don't know what the severity of it was going to be, but I certainly wasn't going to stick around to find out. This Air Asia flight landed late in Thailand, which virtually gave us, I don't know, but maybe 20 minutes max to get through immigration. And me and I don't know, the whole plane is full of backpackers. There's not a single Thai person on the flight.
And
me and
packed.
it's packed.
Every seat is full. Everyone's running. I cried right after we checked into the flight because I was like, "This is it. I ruined our trip. We're gonna sit in the airport until we can get a flight to Singapore, and we're gonna be on our way home." But I was really afraid to get stuck in Myanmar. It's just not very developed, and while we enjoyed it, but we really had no time to explore. I was just really afraid that we were gonna get sick and not have any options. So we made the move to come somewhere a little bit more developed. So.
How did you decide on Koh Samui? What brought you there? Is that where you flew into?
No, we flew into Bangkok.
Okay. Yeah, I think we spent a few days in Bangkok and just decided we should kind of hole up in something like this, like a villa, just to kind of ride it out. And this is kind of nice because it's up above people. Like we don't have to really interact. There's a food delivery service called Food Panda. It's just like the same thing as Uber Eats. So we can get food delivered up here most times. We make a grocery run like maybe once a week. We just said this is the same thing most people are doing in the U.S. and it's what we would be doing. We'd just be sitting in a house. So I said, well, we might as well. I mean, if we're gonna, we can't go home. If it's not safe for us to go home, we might as well just stay here and kind of plot our next move. Maybe something will open up and we'll get to continue traveling. And if not, then we'll go home.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather be in Koh Samui right now than Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
My car actually is covered in snow right now as we speak.
We have an extra room, but
we have a bedroom.
You have to completely quarantine because you're coming from New York and it's pretty scary there right now.
That is true. Buffalo isn't as bad as like the city.
Yeah.
But people when we were driving back from Florida and we had to stop at a few hotels like en route a couple weeks ago, like they were giving us the dirtiest looks. Like, you're from New York, and like they almost didn't let us stay at the hotel. It was really extreme. I'm like, we're not from the city. And
in Jacksonville.
they were the guys like, I had to get the manager to talk to you. You're from New York, and like the only reason he knew us from New York is because of my license, and he just assumed like I was coming from New York. Like,
should have had your passport in, I think.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh yeah.
We avoided some of that.
We actually experienced, like, just the other day, there is this notion that white Westerners are bringing this disease into Thailand. So for the first time the other day, I experienced like some level of discrimination or something. I went to a store to pick up, I can't remember what it was, right? But these Thai people were literally backing away from me as I was walking toward them.
What? Wow.
There's been some sort of social media movement. I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to perpetuate it, right? But there was some very ugly social media movement to like shoot slingshot rocks at white people because they were dirty. They were the dirty Westerners that were bringing there. So I mean, it's kind of more reason to stay home. I have not experienced anybody been truly ugly to me, but I did see somebody back away from me. So I guess it's been a real thing.
Jeez, yeah, I never even thought of that.
Shop owners are pretty content to deliver food and things like that. Obviously, their economy is taking a huge hit with all of their tourism being kind of ripped out. So anytime we eat local, we go in and we pick up. You can't really eat inside anywhere anymore. Bangkok they enforced it the morning that the border closures started. They enforced you can't eat inside anywhere. It kind of came just like the US, there was a lot of restrictions. And we just saw the lockdown here start a few days ago when they started to actually close down Koh Samui and stop allowing new reservations, stop allowing you to eat in. Face masks are required to go anywhere, even gas stations or McDonald's or something. You have to have a face mask to walk in the building. So.
New York just passed that, actually. I think in 3 days we're required to wear them.
Yeah, they just started that.
Just an
that
hour
starts
ago.
In a couple of days. That was just on the news, yeah. So,
do you have face masks?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. We haven't really had to leave that much. We've just been hunkering down here the whole time.
Yeah.
Getting a little too close for comfort. Cabin fevers. It's setting in. It's just us and the ants.
Oh my god.
It's like that movie, the guy oh my god, what's that movie where they lose themselves in the cabin? The Shining.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
We'll see that for sure.
Literally, it was just literally just an ant crawling on me.
They fall from our beings, like
Oh my
these
god,
beams above us. They literally will just like plop out in front of us.
stressing me out.
It's the
Ants.
worst. Anyway. So
I love.
let's talk about so what's your next move after, like, I guess you don't really know probably because nobody knows when this is all gonna kind of be over with. So are you planning on staying there until you can like get back out to the US, or if you still have 4 months left of your travels, are you gonna extend it, or are you gonna go home and regroup?
I guess I'm in kind of regroup mode right now. I'm holding on to the pipe dream that we can continue to move, and just call this a break. So even if we are here for the full 2 months that we think we're going to be, we still have a chance to. Indonesia's not far, right? So I could say I have plans, but they're gonna be messed up anyway. So I'm trying to make too many plans. My parents are moving to Tokyo, so I'd really like to go see them on the way home, right? Because it'd be terrible to go back to the U.S. and then I haven't seen them in this long, and then I get there and they're not there. So it'd be nice to go back to Tokyo. We actually did make it to Tokyo on the trip already, but you guys, I know you've been to Japan, and I think we were there 10 days, and it was a joke how much we didn't get to see.
Oh my god, yeah, it's huge. There's so much to do in the city.
Try doing it when you can't really walk.
Yeah, try doing it in a wheelchair.
Where that is.
That was a lot of fun. You know those stairs in the train stations. Imagine carrying a wheelchair and big backpacks up and down those. It was a blast.
I can't even imagine.
And
I didn't have to go to the gym at all on that trip.
It's
That's the one trip I came back in better shape than I left on.
I did it. That's the one trip I didn't.
valid excuse.
Yeah, so I know we have a plan. Like I said, get to maybe grab Indonesia and Tokyo. I'd be happy if the trip ended today and it was, it wouldn't be horrible. Like, we had such a great experience. We've been to so many different countries. I said we were gonna make it to all the continents, right? But by the end of this trip, we would still be missing Antarctica. That was never really in the cards. Because I really think the only best way to get there is actually from South America, like the tip of South America.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think too.
I kind of watch, did you ever watch Kara and Nate videos?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like that, they provided a pretty good blueprint for how to get there.
The cruise thing, yeah.
I haven't actually watched their Antarctica ones. I've watched Kara and Nate a bunch, but
yeah, we were at their 100th country.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, it was cool. But
I'm down for Antarctica. That would be a great points redemption if we could figure it out. I don't know. I know that's like a hard trip to do on points.
I don't think there's many points you can.
Well, we can get to Argentina or wherever. We can get to South America on points.
Oh yeah,
true.
But I think the cruise. I was just talking to Lindsay. I don't know if she's watching, but I was just talking to her about Antarctica, and she said they have a lot of last minute deals, or usually like last minute, like a month before. So that's always an option,
if we're
I guess.
Flexible and we wait, we could probably get a good deal to Antarctica. That'd be pretty cool.
What a trip. What a collab trip.
What'd you say?
What a collab trip that would be. There's a collab for you.
I'm in.
That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
But we would all have to jump in the water. Have you seen those videos?
Oh, the polar plunge.
Mm-hmm. The real polar plunge.
Real polar plunge.
That'll wake you up.
Actually, sorry. I was going to say one of the things we're really looking forward to, because we were going to touch Australia, was going. I can never pronounce this country, but I think it's Vanuatu. It's an island. It's an island off the east coast of Australia that has an active volcano. I think actually Kara and Nate went there too.
I did. I saw that video. That
was one of the things we were planning, and that's probably the thing I'm most bummed about, because if you can just imagine the kind of cool. I mean, I don't know. I can't even describe what it'd be like to climb an active volcano. And of course, I was going to fly my drone through it. It was going to happen.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. Have either of you been to Australia or New Zealand yet?
No.
No.
I think Indonesia, parts of Indonesia are technically in the Oceania continent. So yeah, I don't know. That's a pretty big technicality though. I think I would only feel good if I made it to like Australia or New Zealand to count that.
Yeah, you have to, like Sydney or something.
I know you've been.
Mm-hmm. So what's your best redemption of the trip been so far?
Man, that's a tough question. I think in just terms of pure value, it was the Marriott in Dubai, the Al Maha Resort, because it's such an aspirational Marriott property. Like it's definitely up there with like the St. Regis Maldives. It's because it's one of the only properties in the portfolio that provides an all-inclusive experience.
You could don't they give you like excursions? Like
yeah,
an eagle thing. Like I feel like I've seen some pictures, videos of it. Like an eagle will, I don't know, like something with an eagle.
Yeah, I think it's falconry, right?
Yeah, they do falconry.
Falcon. Yeah, that's right, falcon.
She would not do it. I mean, they give you this. I don't know what
It's
this.
bigger than I am.
It's like this wristband-looking thing, and then like the falcon comes and flies under your wrist. It looked awesome. I didn't do it because I'm such a good husband. I was like, oh, it's all right. You sleep in.
You didn't do it because it was at like 5 a.m.
It was so early.
It gets too hot in Dubai for them to fly, so they have to fly at like somewhere between 5 and 7, depending on the time of year.
So what excursions did you end up doing?
They had this thing called dune bashing, like where you get in a car. Like it was this 4x4 car, and you just go up and down the sand dunes. And so it could make you a little sick. I thought it was fun. They had archery. They had this thing where they take you. You could do two things. You could get on a camel and take a little trek out into the desert, and then in the middle of the desert, they had this little champagne bar set up, and you'd watch the sunset. And you could do that by camel, or you could do that by car. The first day we did it by camel, and then we realized if you go in the car, you get there 15 minutes earlier than the camels, and you can have more champagne. So
when that's a hack right there.
Everything you need
Guys,
to know.
first World Tour hack.
But it's the whole thing, and it was definitely the top. Actually, I think I got 5 nights for I want to say like 280,000.
Okay, does that with the 5th night free?
Yeah, exactly. It may have been 290 or 260. Now I can't remember, but it was where it broke it. It was right below a category 8. It was like a point savers rate, so to speak. But it was breakfast, lunch. So its status was not needed at this resort. So it doesn't matter as long as you had the points to book it. It was completely full board. And I've never been to a property like that ever, let alone like a Marriott property where you can redeem points. I guess I've been to an all-inclusive in Mexico, but it doesn't really feel like the same thing.
Yeah, because it's got activities.
Yeah, this had the activities. You didn't leave the resort. Like I said, like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner was included. And then on top of that, like you could order the exact same meals as room service, which usually Marriotts don't include any. Sometimes you get a discount at the restaurants in a Marriott, like a 20% discount in Asia. But this, you could order room service and it was completely free. I mean, the only money we spent was there was a small bar at the resort, and we'd do like a hookah and have a couple beers at night before dinner, and that was the only money we spent the entire time. Wow. So I think that was the best, just total value, because I think it retailed for $10,000 to $20,000 in cash.
What? Oh my god, that's awesome. Now, what was like the best food there? What was your favorite meal?
I ate lobster every single day we were there.
You wouldn't think eating lobster in the desert of Dubai, but they had the most incredible. It's not that far from water. It just it was literally, if you fly into Dubai, you take an hour drive east, and you're just flat in the middle of nowhere. Like there's no civilization to be found, which is really interesting. But for some reason, the seafood was phenomenal. Every seafood meal we had there.
Did you have to hire like a car service for that, or did you rent a car to get to that hotel?
Yeah, we stayed at a JW Marriott, the JW Marriott in Dubai, which was an amazing property. Actually, we spent Thanksgiving there.
Oh yeah, they did.
That's what it was. Yeah, we spent Thanksgiving night at the JW Marriott in Dubai. Had Thanksgiving dinner in the concierge lounge they made for everybody, and then we took the hired car from the JW Marriott round trip to the property in the desert.
Wow.
That's cool. I think another couple we met when we were at Karen Nate's party, we were talking about going to this place. They were actually supposed to leave, I think she said tomorrow. I was just talking to her on their own a couple month trip, which is not canceled.
He, oh my God, what's his name? He was so pumped about the Falcon, that whole property.
The Rozos.
Yeah, the Rozos. Yeah, they're so pumped about that. I want to get to that property now. I need more Marriott points.
I know.
Don't you have something coming up that you need those points for?
What's that?
So don't you have something very special coming up that you might need those points for?
Yes.
We might. I'm actually back under 524, so maybe I could get a Chase Marriott card.
You get two. The business.
You did like that Langkawi place we were staying, right? The St. Regis one.
Yeah, the baby Maldives.
Yeah, there's so many places we want to go to, and I think it's going to be, like, we still haven't even picked what our plans were supposed to be for this summer, but now we're leaning towards going to Peru first, and we were talking about just staying in South America, but I could be out of work for like 5 months, so
yeah,
I'm ready to fly somewhere as soon as we can, basically. But
I feel like because we weren't planning on going to Peru in the summer, but now we might like shift our vacation there. I've always wanted to see Easter Island, and I think we just might make that happen, and then go from there wherever. But Easter Island looks so cool with big statues.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's like one of those like top places to go.
So for you, like Asia is probably out as a honeymoon destination.
No, I don't think it's out.
Anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
But so far, like Asia.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's a
You
tough
definitely
call.
have to have time to make the flight worth it.
That's true.
We were originally thinking of doing like 6 weeks, because we could mostly be gone all of July and some of August. But now I guess we'll have to see what's going on in the world and if we can go anywhere. But ideally, I would love to go.
Yeah. If everything works out, it'd be cool to meet up like somewhere this summer. If like the world is in a better place and we're actually able to travel.
We'll be here. Just be right in this apartment. So
We'll just fly right over to you.
I'll show you my favorite spots in Koh Samui. We had a crazy night at a Ladyboy show, and it was we went to a Ladyboy show, and then we had this black lobster pasta. I think it was black crab.
So good.
Black crab pasta, and it was like that was just a crazy night. And that sticks out to me. Black crab pasta, some restaurant across from the Ladyboy show. And the Ladyboy show was wild.
my first experience with the Ladyboy show was going through Phuket, which was not our favorite place, by the way. Different discussion for a different day. But you absolutely, some of them you flat out couldn't tell if they were in drag or not. It was unbelievable. And one of the locals told me if they're way too hot, then they're probably a ladyboy.
Yeah, somebody told a story the other day in the group about how they like made out with a ladyboy on accident. And they thought it was a girl, like they were in Bangkok. And the next morning, like a guy came up. He's like, "It was nice hooking up with you last night." He's like, "Yeah, we just made out." Oh my god!
Gotta look for the.
So that was your best redemption. What's your biggest fail, would you say, of this trip?
Oh, I feel like it's COVID-19 right now. Like,
no, that's not their fault.
You have a mistake that you could take.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to keep the story concise, but all right. So one of the first places we went after the hike was Morocco.
That's on my
and
list.
we drove. We rented a car and drove all around the country. So the last stop was in Marrakesh, and if anyone's ever been to Marrakesh, you know it. Like the majority of the old city is in this walled off section. So it's like you've got New Marrakesh outside, and then the traditional. When you think about like traditional Morocco, where you have like souks and like the snake charmers and the markets, they're all within this kind of walled confines. Well, my rental car would not fit within these walls, and we pull up, and this this guy is trying to tell us, hey, you can't park in here. And I don't believe him, right? I was like, whatever. He's trying to con me. And really, he takes me all the way through. We get out of the car. I see the car doesn't fit. So I said, all right, I'll park it. We get out and we walk around. The short story is they tried to con us for us taking them on a tour. Them taking us on a tour. So they took us to the door of our riad, which is kind of like a homestay in Morocco. Three of us walked us to the front of our riad and then held out their hand and said, hey, you got to give us money for the tour. And I said, oh, I didn't want to, and all the red flags were there, right? Like, who does any of that for free? And I consider myself a seasoned traveler. Amy's a seasoned traveler. These guys were so convincing. We got duped big time. So then they surrounded me. The three of them surround me, and I just push Amy in the door of the riad and say, leave. And to the point where the riad owner comes out and calls the police, because little did I know that tourist harassment is a huge crime in Morocco. They definitely side on the tourist side every time. They won't stand for any kind of harassment. The police get there, and the three of these guys, the riad owner and the police, get in a fist fight brawl.
What?
And then I have to go to the police station with everybody. So all of us are going to the police station. I'm in an interrogation room for 2 or 3 hours waiting on something that I'm terrified. I don't know what's going to happen because I'm a tourist, and who knows if they said, well, he started it, he duped us. I don't know what is going to happen. And I speak pretty bad French, but I can understand it. And that's the only other language they speak, Arabic and French, and not really any English. They print up this 10-page document for me to sign as a statement. I said, I'm not signing any of that. It's completely in Arabic. I said, write it in French and maybe I'll sign it. They bring these three guys in, and they say, and they have a sentencing on the spot. They say, do you want to press charges? These guys will go to jail for 6 months. They drag these guys out of a holding cell, throw them on the floor in front of me in the interrogation room. They're all three bawling. Oh, I have a family. Please, I don't want anything to happen to me. And I'm just I don't want to be a part of any of this. I don't think they should deserve to go to jail for 6 months, but whatever. It all ended up being fine, but I'm saying it was a total fail. Next time, I should have just said no. No would have solved that entire experience. I wouldn't have wasted a day at a Morocco jail. And there you go. That's probably the worst fail of the trip.
Wow, that's a crazy story.
Incredible. They were so nice, and I was absolutely panicked. And he kept telling me, this is your home. You are safe. You are safe. You are safe. And he made me a ton of tea, which the tea is unreal. It's my favorite thing. They made us dinner, and they wouldn't let us pay for our room.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us pay for anything.
But they were so nice. So it was it was pretty redeeming too, in the same sense.
Jeez.
It was a basic.
That's a crazy story to tell. That's a grandkid's story someday. That's
I think
story.
I don't think she knew about that. So.
Just picturing you being the judge, jury, and executioner, standing there, and these guys.
I've never seen anything like that. I just they're move so quickly.
The thumb up, you're Oh my God. On that note,
Oh my God.
I think we got some questions in the group. Some points of miles stuff. We got a lot of people in here, I think.
Going back to the ants, we had some recommendations. I don't see any bee recommendations for you guys, but ant traps, we have them all over our house. We've sprayed our house. I just sprayed the inside of the house.
Moths in my Airbnb. So many pests. Okay.
Vodka and
I hate
juice
those
is great.
guys. Ask Carol
Okay.
Baskin. Okay. You guys seen the show?
Of course. I'm upset.
God. Too much.
Why are you
No?
upset?
Because he does not deserve to be in jail.
Oh.
All right?
I don't think I've watched the last episode yet.
You did.
The John McHale one?
Yeah, there was a bonus episode. Oh, you didn't watch the bonus one? That was kind of it was okay. He did an interview with everybody.
So.
But if you were starved for content, yeah.
Which, everyone's stuck in the house, so that's all they need is more content right now.
Yeah, right.
Okay, here's a question. Let's see if I can show
Hide
this.
somewhere. True.
What is the best Marriott redemption of 100,000 miles?
Where do we start?
Yeah, some extent.
100,000 miles.
I think that's going to depend on what you're looking for. So, are you looking for the longest number of days, or are you looking for like the best place that's like a luxurious place and you can only stay one night? Like, I think that's a hard question to say if we don't know what your goals, I guess, are.
Yeah, it's tricky. So there's like some Marriotts that are really awesome, depending on like what you want to do. Like the one that Marriott Renaissance in Aruba comes to mind. Like it's not, I think it was 35,000 miles before the category increase, and you go to a private island with flamingos. Like it's so cool, especially if you had kids. Like I could see that as being like a really awesome redemption. But it's not 100,000 points a night.
Yeah, we actually kind of went through this too when we decided to take this trip. We sat and we talked for a little bit about if we wanted to do points like smaller redemptions but stay in Marriott almost the entire time, or if we wanted to do bigger redemptions and stay local for the rest of it. And so that was the better option for us personally, is we wanted the local atmosphere. We wanted to enjoy the cultures we were in, and then sometimes stay somewhere really cool.
Yeah, I like the flip flop because it's like you appreciate it more too. Like when you're staying at a nice place versus like still a nice place, but it's not like the
Not
place
or things like that.
Oh yeah. So I just googled the most expensive Marriott in the world. The Ritz-Carlton Montreal, randomly.
What?
No, it's $10.
You guys stay in a lot of Ritz-Carltons? Do you ever stay at those?
No, we haven't.
I don't know. I stayed at one maybe in Toronto, like one time.
I think it's a dime. Like as a member of the Marriott portfolio, because status matters. Like you don't get great status recognition. Nothing is included in terms of like breakfast. I think it's a dying piece of Marriott, because it's definitely just in my opinion, I think it's an older generation hotel. And if you want something like that, the St. Regis is like that and more, and they have status recognition.
St. Regis is so great.
Oh yeah, I've never stayed at St. Regis, but I've heard like tremendous things about it. St. Regis in the Maldives is supposed to be phenomenal. That's a property I looked at staying at. That's actually, I think that might be like 100,000 a night, something like that. It's a good value. So that's my recommendation.
I think it's 100K a night, right?
I think so. Yeah.
At peak times, yeah.
All right.
What's our next question?
Next question we have is the Radisson Premier card worth keeping for 40K points for a $75 annual fee?
The Radisson? It's a hotel card. Some people really get good value from that card. I don't know. 40K. That's like, it's always like a tricky thing. Like that's like this example I had earlier today with my night certificate from the Marriott card. It's like $75. If you look at like what properties could you book with 40,000 Radisson points, and then like figuring out like, are you actually going to use those points in the next year or what? Like it's one of those things you get to like really look at what your travel looks like and see if you can make it work. If you're determined to use points, then you'll use the points, right? Like you'll find a way to book travel. But I think that what always sucks is some people forget about these points if they're not like thinking about them or tracking them, or they wait till the end of the year and like certificates are about to expire and they don't get to actually get good value. They just do like a Friday night at a local Hilton or Radisson or Marriott or whatever, versus like taking advantage of like what you could get with those. And that's like I guess that's more personal for me. Like I want to get the most, or get good value and travel and experience things. That's my soapbox answer. You guys got a better answer?
No, I don't know. I don't know anything about this card, so I wouldn't be one to ask. I hope that does mean, but I hope that means keeping it and not like signing up for it. You definitely wouldn't burn a slot for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I guess that's a good question. Is it worth? This is worth keeping. I guess my follow-up question too to that question is, what is the history of that card? Like, has that card been open for 10 years, or has it been open for 1 year?
That's a good point.
You know, if that's the oldest credit card in this person's credit history, then definitely keep that open, because that's going to kill your credit if you don't have any other cards with history.
I want to say that they are probably just from the way the question is framed, it maybe they're just signing up for it because you probably only get that bonus once, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That's definitely not a card. I don't have that card, so I don't know too much about that. Like the reward redemption for the rest. But I know people that talk about that program as, like, I'm guessing people that are way over 524 that are just opening more cards.
Way 24.
Yeah, I'd say definitely look at your credit history. Like, if that is an old card, do not close it. And if you're going to get value for it, keep it open.
This wasn't really a question, but
All right, Amelia.
I like it. I also feel like I look like a troll at 6 a.m. I'm usually not even up.
We have been the worst lately. We're getting up at like 9 o'clock out here.
So bad.
It's so hard to wake up.
It's not uncommon for me to be going to bed at about 6.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Done that before. All right, so our next one is an FYI. If you owe money on your income taxes, you can look at paying them with a credit card.
True.
Yes.
True.
You can.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity for especially people that don't have regular monthly spend. Like, if you have a big tax bill, like, definitely take advantage of that.
All right.
That's a big question.
See. There's an app you can download and put all your cards on it, and we'll send you a notification when you're at a store or whatever that reminds you which card gives you the most rewards. Huh. That sounds interesting. Yeah, we'll definitely have to message you about that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that app.
Then we have a question for you of how do I cancel my bank account?
This is a troll question. This is probably.
Do you have an answer?
I know who's doing that.
Karen and Nate Rock. Yeah, we love them.
Karen, hey.
And then the next one is, I think this was Lindsay, who I was just talking about Antarctica. She said they were on my flight from BA to, I don't know how to say that, but we ended up taking different Antarctica cruises.
Yeah, how do you say that? You should. I don't know where that is.
That far, so I have no idea what it is.
All right.
I really want to do an Antarctica cruise.
Your guess is sketchy.
So there you go.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it.
It's in a nutshell.
I'm learning so much, but yes, I already heard about this. Tell them about being sick in February. Was it COVID? Me being sick, I'm guessing? Was that? Oh wait, I wasn't sick in February.
I was extremely sick in February when we were in Langkawi.
Oh really?
So, well, I didn't get tested, so we don't know. But it was, I don't know, probably 3 days of sustained like 103 fever.
Wow.
Jesus.
It was who knows, but it was at the best redemption. Remember when we were in that villa in Langkawi? That's when that's when I decided to show up.
Man,
was it just 3 days? Like, what else were your symptoms?
No, it was like I was probably sick for a week, but like I had 3 days of sustained fever, and I didn't get tested. I just stayed in the room, so I'll never know if it was, but it could have been. I don't know.
Yeah, crazy. Maybe you can get through the antibody testing that they're supposed to be coming up with.
Yeah, they've been saying there's been so many. I don't know if it's like both conspiracy theories and just like people talking about like what could happen in the future, but like people like for travelers, like us having to present some sort of like documentation that says like we had the virus before, and we have immunology to it now, or like what that will look like. And if we have to, everyone has to have a test at some point to show like they had the vaccine or whatever that looks like. But it's going to be crazy to see how that plays out over the next year or so.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, no one really knows what to do next, so it's all a wait and see game for sure.
Have you connected with other backpackers in Koh Samui?
Yeah. Well, there's really not many left. If they are, everyone's kind of in hiding. But we have some other people that we travel with in other countries that we're kind of, I guess, hanging out with. Not really trying to stay apart, but they'll come over and swim every now and then. We can't go to a bar. We didn't really talk about this, but there's a curfew, so you can't be out after 10, or you can, like, the military's looking out after 4 or 10 o'clock, and I don't want to be any part of that. No in the bars. In fact, you can't even buy alcohol. Alcohol sales are forbidden. So you definitely aren't seeing backpackers if alcohol isn't around.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
No Chang, huh?
No.
Chang.
Before they stopped sales, we got delivery. We just got somebody like delivered 2 cases of Singa and Chang to us.
Nice.
So we didn't have to go in.
It's funny.
That's like the Thailand thing is, like, randomly they just have no alcohol. Like, I remember when we were there, we did those weird holidays, and out of the blue, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get a Chang, or I'm gonna get a beer at the 7-Eleven or whatever." You walk in there, and there's like everything's locked, and there's like the president's picture is like on the cases and stuff. Like, you can't get anything.
Every day from 2 to, this is the weirdest thing at getting used to. Like, from 2 to 5, you can't buy alcohol every day, period, regardless of COVID.
Wow.
So, like, if you walk into the 7-Eleven at the wrong time, like you see like the doors, or there's tape all over the glass doors. Yeah. I don't know why. Just in the middle of the day, you can't buy alcohol.
Interesting.
Thailand is a bizarre place. I love Thailand so much, but it is definitely a different country.
We got this that frame in Thailand in
Chiang Mai.
It's like a
Chiang
wood
Rai,
carving
Chiang
of
Mai.
elephants. If you can't make it,
That was a challenging thing to get home to Buffalo.
I bet.
It's teak wood,
you can like zoom in.
and it is big and not carry on. So getting that on the planes was such a pain in the butt. But we made it back. All right, we got a new question: Sapphire Reserve or Sky Miles Reserve? What do you guys think?
This one's a slam dunk. This is, I think I'll say, to some fairness, it's a Delta card, right? The Sky Miles?
Yeah.
If someone's like a huge, massive Delta fan and they think they can get more out of it, maybe. But I think for the majority, 95% of the people, the Sapphire Reserve is going to provide way more flexibility in how you redeem it.
Mm-hmm.
And the benefits, right? The benefits are just, we didn't even get the chance to talk about how the CSR has saved our butt on this trip so many times, but like the benefits outweigh it every time.
When you say save your butt, like the AAA travel insurance, lounges.
Yeah, the priority pass alone. I know this is a hot topic, or at least it was a month or two ago when the CSR had the annual fee hike from $450 to $550.
Yeah.
Just the way if somebody doesn't travel a lot, right? If they're just maybe a once or twice a year person, I can see the argument. But I think if you travel more than 2-3 times a year, the priority pass benefit pays for itself.
Mm-hmm. So the insurance on the card.
That's what I was going to get at. We've lost a few. We've had an unfortunate losing of a few things on the trip, and we've filed 2 purchase protection claims because we bought it on the CSR, and they refunded us in full both time. And I think we've probably gotten $1,500 in checks from Chase to replace things that we've lost. So, and that doesn't really extend. That has nothing to do with traveling. I mean, I could be at the U.S. and I could buy something and lose it, and it would. I think the terminology is involuntarily separated. So as long as you can prove that you didn't want to lose it, then Chase will cover it.
I've actually never used those benefits before. I've used the trip delay, trip cancellation quite a bit. But
I guess I should be thankful we've never had to use and we have flown all sorts of budget carriers on this trip, and we have, knock on wood, like we've never even had a delay of 30 minutes. I don't know how we've gotten such good luck, but we've never had to use the cancellation or delay insurance. But for sure, we've used the lounge benefit a whole lot, and the priority class lounges internationally kill the ones outside of the U.S. They're very, very nice. And then we've used the purchase protection benefit. We've never, since the fee increase happened, we haven't gotten to use the Lyft. Was it the Lyft benefit and the DoorDash? Have you guys gotten to use any of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the DoorDash is a dangerous benefit, I gotta say. Like, I never got the delivery food before. Like, we're never really like into that. And now that I had that we each had $70 to burn, and now all of a sudden, now we're actually like, oh, what are we gonna eat tonight? Let's pull up the DoorDash app. Like, they definitely caught us. They got us. Kudos to you, Chase, for catching us as being suckers to DoorDash.
Well, and they waived delivery fees, haven't they, at home?
The delivery fees, yeah.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's free. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of weird things going on right now with free food service. But,
yeah, especially like all the rules are changing right now for food delivery. I think is that all of our questions? Did anyone say have any other questions?
I don't think so. Do you guys have any other last comments?
Yeah, we definitely went over time like 20 minutes, but it doesn't seem like it's been almost an hour and a half. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think we talked about everything on the list. I guess I'll add one thing. I think we were going to talk about Southeast Asia a bit. I know we're over time, but if you want to stay, you can.
We got nothing going on.
If anyone's watching and has Southeast Asia questions, we're just shoot them out.
I think just a general comment about Southeast Asia is I see a lot of people about like using points when you get here, and I think for the most part, using points to plan flights to a hub city like Kuala Lumpur or Bangkok or a major hub city that you can really transit like inexpensively from. I think once you get here, you don't need to use your points. Just I mean, you guys have been to Thailand, obviously. I don't know what other Asian countries you've been to. I think thinking about booking like a business class ticket, let's just example itinerary. Like if I wanted to go to round trip to Bangkok, I would not book like intra-Asia flights with points. I would just hop on AirAsia or at some other budget carrier. I would absolutely save your points.
Even the overnight sleeper trains are great here. Like we've had pretty great experiences just hopping on, having a place to stay for the night and get where you're going the next morning. It's been great.
Yeah, we didn't do the overnight trains. I think we almost did one. We had our worst transfer experience in Thailand was, I think of two. Actually, one was in Koh Samui, but the top one, which I'm gonna have to just throw out there, was the 3-hour bus ride from, I want to say, Chiang Mai to Pai. It had like over 100 turns or something, some crazy obnoxious number of like turns, and they stopped at 1.5 hours exactly. This is a little rest stop out of nowhere, and the only thing for sale was toilet paper and like Tums, like Pepto-Bismol, for like an upset stomach. And people get out of this van and they're like puking, yakking, holding their stomach and holding their faces. And it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, and I usually never get like motion sickness, and I was even feeling a little bit sick. And they not only did they stop at this rest stop where everyone got sick, but the price of toilet paper and the Pepto-Bismol, whatever it was like 10x the price that it was regularly in Thailand, which is like nothing. Like they were just running this like toilet paper and Pepto-Bismol ring with this 3-hour bus ride. Like it's oh my god!
I don't think we did a Thailand. We didn't do a Thailand bus like that, but in Vietnam, I'm sure it's a very similar thing. They were sleeper buses. They looked like little dorm rooms that you would take overnight buses, but it was good luck getting any sleep because it was honking, it was hairpin turns, it was picking up random people on the side of the road.
Yeah,
I
that's
still don't know
the
how this worked, but even after the bus was full in the seats, people were laying in the aisles. So
What?
just flat, and if you were on a lower bunk, you were literally eye to eye with the person laying in the aisle.
That's awkward.
That is weird.
And we took the minivan as well and had the girl that got
Oh.
had a full on panic attack.
Crying. The hairpin turns are so violent that this girl behind us was just bawling.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's a lot of things do not seem too safe in Thailand. Like they're safe, but like safety standards are pretty low.
Pretty liberal.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
pretty
there's
low.
a high chair on the motorbike, and that's totally a thing here.
Oh, you guys have seen the way people carry stuff on motorbikes, and they've got kids
Stacked
they've
up.
got kids in front of them.
Yep, like a whole family of 5.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's like it's like a game. Like how many people can you fit on one motorbike? And they're going fast too, like flying down the street. Insane.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. One last question. Where's your favorite place that you've visited? Because how many countries have you guys been to?
54
54.
combined.
Man, we'll never get this.
Mine is Osaka, like 100%.
Well, that's not a country.
It's this place.
Oh, it does? Sorry. Rude. How rude of me. We just said countries, so I thought we were doing countries.
Let's do country and place.
Japan in general, but Osaka is like my favorite place I've ever been.
What did you like about Osaka? Like why did you love it?
Well, step one is it was cool, and I naturally run very hot, so anything out of the heat was fantastic. But you guys have been to Japan. Everything is just run so well there. The train systems are fantastic. The people are so nice. The food's great. The climate was great. Everything is perfect.
Did you say at the Conrad Osaka?
No.
No, we just stayed in like a little local place.
A closet. I think we stayed in an absolute closet. Like I have seen dorm rooms that are bigger than this place.
Hey, when you go back to Japan, you gotta stay at the 9 hours, the sleep pods.
I know. I really want to do that. I don't know why I'm obsessed with sleep pods, but I am. They're just hostels, but there's something fun about being able to close your little door.
I like the pods. We stayed in one in Vietnam where they actually had like a queen size bed pod, so we got to like pod together. So
that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember seeing that like on your Insta story or something. But.
It was that was a really fun experience. It definitely it's a hostel, but I guess it's a false sense of privacy.
Yeah, I liked Osaka. There was a really good sushi place at the main hub station with all the stores and everything. It was like on one of the top floors, this sushi train place that we had like, I don't even know, stacks and stacks and stacks. All like the plates were like higher than us, like standing. It's just so much sushi.
You get the bill at the end, and you're like, and you like billed by plate, right?
Yeah, color coded plates.
I don't even think it was that expensive. But
Yeah.
What was your favorite place, Rob?
I think I really liked Petra, Jordan. And unfortunately, because that was when we were on a cruise at the time. Because we cruised for 40 days through the Middle East. And that was a lot of the countries we got 2 or 3 days in, but this was, unfortunately, we just had 1 day. But that was just one of the most incredible. And I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan anyway, so getting to see like everyone's through. And you better believe that they had Indiana Jones merchandise, a lot of it. But even that couldn't ruin it for me. I thought it was just fantastic. And Jordan was a really, really neat place. The people were really nice. I'm looking forward to going back and spending a lot more time there.
We hitched a ride with some Canadians.
We got in the car. We just got in the car with strangers. You guys want to split the ride? Sure.
I think we took candy from them too. So like everything we're not.
That's like the big, like the 3 things not to do. I love it.
Candy, strangers.
For sure.
All right. So what about y'all's?
Oh.
I don't know. When you bring up Petra, I'm thinking about Egypt. We almost went to Petra from Egypt, but we just couldn't swing it. It was kind of like a sketchy way to get there, and we would have had to. It was like a really long journey by car, and it would have like just killed our time, like days. But we definitely do want to get back to Petra or get to Petra. We were so close.
What's your favorite place? That's the question.
I know. It's a good question.
I really don't know. I would probably have to say Greece. What was the last island we went to? Mykonos?
Mykonos. We did Mykonos, Santorini, and Crete. Crete was my favorite island.
Yeah, Crete. I don't.
What did you like about Crete?
Everything was just great. Like the food was really good, and then they always gave you that little shot afterwards that was not very good. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to say I'm gonna throw. There's so many like beautiful places, and I feel like it changes with time and kind of reflection. But for today, I'm thinking about Finland and just like we had a couple magical
really
nights
like
out there.
Finland.
We had it was just the two of us. Like there was like no one in this town for whatever reason, and like no tourists or anything. We had like all of these excursions to ourselves. We did a husky dog sled tour through the woods. It was just like us. It was crazy. And then we rented a snowmobile and had just us two and a guide, and went out at like 10 p.m. We went out for 3 or 4 hours just looking for the Aurora Borealis. Just driving around, like stopping at these like little huts like along the way in Finland, and they have these like community huts you can just stop at to like grab tea and like warm up. And we just like drove around and did that for hours. We didn't see the Borealis that night, but it was just so much fun, like looking for it. And then the following night, we stayed at this glass igloo, which is like the most famous glass igloo. Like if you just Google glass igloo, it's the one that comes up. And we're laying and they're like about to fall asleep. We're so tired, you're just waiting, like hoping to see the northern lights. And all of a sudden, I think like Lisa's going to bed, and she's like calling it quits. And I'm looking, like squinting, and I see like a ghost of like air fly through this, and I'm like yelling and screaming like they're out. We're just like flipping out in our little igloo, like that the lights are actually coming out.
I was not going to bed though. I was trying to take pictures of them because I didn't know how to take night photos.
Yeah, right. I think you were calling
Dave
quits.
was just laying there the whole time as I was trying to figure out the camera. But anyway.
Different story, different sides of the story. Yeah. Have you guys seen Northern Lights? They're definitely different.
That's like a huge thing. That's a trip we want to take. Iceland, Finland, or else Norway. Like that's like a whole separate trip. Maybe like a month long.
That would be one of
track through Northern Europe.
Probably one of our anniversary trips where we take a couple weeks and see what we can see. I'd also really like to go to Alaska, which is random, but I just want to go.
I want to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too.
There's a lot of places I want to go.
I want to go everywhere.
Yeah.
I also really liked Grand Cayman Islands, or Grand Cayman.
Grand Cayman. That's a secret. I didn't see that one coming. I do like the Cayman Islands too. Actually, I want to grab. You want Cayman Island beer?
So when we just went, that was like our last trip before everything got locked down, and it's just so like chill, and the food's really good. It's so safe. Like we rode boats all over. Their bus system was really cool. It's just like minivans basically driving around, and they just pull over, and it's like $1 or something every ride. I don't know. It was just very laid back.
I really liked Aruba. I felt like it had kind of that same feel to it, like a lot of adventure, but it was relatively safe. We got like some kind of buggy thing and just drove through the desert.
Yes, the UTV.
Ah, yeah, that was so fun.
So fun.
This was a tough question. There's like I love every single place that we've been to.
Yeah.
Basically.
Cayman Islands are cool. That's a good beer right
Oh
there.
yeah, so when we went to this brewery. Where is it?
K beer.
And we brought these back from the Cayman Islands to drink. But
Yeah,
anyway.
it's delicious.
You
Oh, we
put
have
them or on your check bags and send them home.
What's that?
Did you just put them in your check bags and send them home?
Yeah. Well, we usually only carry on, and so I made a new carry on and checked my suitcase.
We're doing Southwest, so we had the 2 free bags.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a crazy story. So we were trying to catch a connecting flight in Fort Lauderdale, and our flight was delayed. And
No, we landed on Southwest early, but then there was no gate, and then they like changed gates, and then I don't know. We ended up sitting on the plane for like an hour, so we had to change terminals in Fort Lauderdale because we were flying JetBlue back up to Buffalo. So I had to leave my bag, and then they just sent it to me the next day.
yeah, so she just ditched her bag in customs, and we're like, that's where the beer is. That's where like some of our, I don't know, we had things in that bag, and like it was either wait in customs or miss our connecting flight. So Lisa just like ditched the bag in customs, didn't collect it. We didn't know what was going to happen, but they just put it on the next plane back up to Buffalo.
Yeah, I think they just assume it got like misplaced, I guess.
Have you seen people check cans and cases of beer? It happens all the time. Like they'll just stick. I've seen people literally put a 6-pack and it'll have the checked bag luggage on it, and it'll come out through the conveyor belt.
That's a good way to take advantage of the free 2 bags with Southwest.
Yeah.
Good back.
That's fun.
Do we have some more questions?
All right.
What do we got?
I don't know who this is, but social distancing at its worst, Chiang Mai to Chiang Rai bus was like that. They have a sit-stool benches. Yeah. We flew from Chiang Mai to Chiang Rai, so we didn't experience the bus because I could only handle one.
Chiang Mai to
Of
Chiang
those.
Rai.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty much why we didn't take the boats to Laos from Chiang Mai, which is what a lot of the backpackers do. But I read horror stories, and I'm a little bit of a princess, so we flew. Actually, we didn't fly. We took a train. But like a lot of people take the slow boats, and it's like a whole experience. So we have some friends that did it, and they took a private boat, and they said it was great, but it was as much as the flight was. So
That's good to know.
Did you think about going to Laos when you were in Chiang Mai?
Yeah. Yeah. This was like,
and we spent, so this was like one of our first very like big redemptions, and we spent a month in Thailand, and we didn't go to any other country.
Wow.
Just do it
it
all
was just
over
straight up 30 days in Thailand. And in retrospect, it's like, I wish I would have went to like Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam, a couple other places while we were there. But also like 30 days in Thailand was really awesome. And like we really got to explore that whole country.
yeah, I mean we're clocking like 3 months there by the end of this, so it's not a bad place to be. We definitely recommend getting back over and seeing Vietnam and Laos just because we really loved them.
We almost did a month in Vietnam alone, and that was our second trip. Vietnam is a really special place.
I really want to go to Vietnam. That's top of my list.
Are you guys scuba divers?
No, it wasn't like a really budget conscious thing for the trip, but it's something I've always wanted to learn. Actually, I was reading your story yesterday. How did you manage to do skydiving and shark diving all in one day?
The shark thing was only snorkeling.
It was like snorkel
I thought
diving.
it was like a cool dive.
Yeah,
No.
it was like shark. They call it shark diving in Hawaii, but it's not like with the tank or hydrogen. And that was a crazy flipping day, I gotta say. Like I woke up at the crack of dawn. It's like 4 a.m. Drag Lisa out of bed.
I was so grumpy.
She sleeps.
So grumpy.
And I drive the car from Waikiki up to the North Shore. It's still dark out. We're just like waiting outside this pier, and all of a sudden, like people arrive. We get out, take this rocky boat at like 7 a.m. out to the middle of nowhere, and just wait for these sharks to come. And then we like take turns jumping into this ice cold water to like look at the sharks like at the bottom of the cage. It was the weirdest experience. It was cool, but that was before we were scuba divers.
No,
Yeah.
well,
No, was it?
no, we were definitely certified. But I just thought the sharks were like lame.
Yeah, I thought they would have been like more ferocious, like what you would imagine in like Jaws or something.
Yeah.
But they were. Do you know like Galapagos sharks?
Yeah, they're not that big. They're big.
Yeah. care about you anymore either. They probably see everyone every day and they're like, whatever.
Yeah. So we did that, and then but the skydiving was intense. Like we drove straight from there to the skydiving area, which is probably like a half an hour from that shark dive, and it's like the craziest thing. You're driving up, and you see like little like black dots in the sky, and you're like, what are those? You think they're like birds or something? And then the closer you get, those are people. It's just like literally like it's like just 20, 30, 40 people in the sky just like diving down. And it's like the craziest thing to see, like out of nowhere. Like you never see that, right? Like I've never seen in my entire life, only in that one instance, all of these people just like floating through the air with their like parachutes. And I'm like, holy crap, like we're going to be doing that right now. Like it was insane. Skydiving is crazy. Have you guys done skydiving?
Oh, I've always wanted to do that. I don't know where. I gotta make my first time a special place. I don't know where to go.
Australia.
I wanted to do it in Dubai, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, I heard Dubai's a big skydiving destination.
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia. Lisa said Australia. I heard Australia too.
I had friends do it when I was studying abroad there, and I was so jealous I didn't do it there. But that would be a good place. So
We got a lot of people joining here tonight. Lisa Malcolm, Scotty Muse, Jason James. Borton said he's at 19 countries, Japan 5 times though. Oh my god. 5 times. That's awesome. Next time I go to Japan is hopefully for the marathon if I can ever get into it. I always wanted to run that marathon in Japan. It's supposed to be really cool. And I wanted to go down to the southwest side of Japan where the islands are. What's the island called in Japan? The southwest side.
Something with a K.
There's a Navy base there, or some type of U.S. military base. I can't remember. Our friend was stationed there.
Yeah, that's where I'd like to go.
Narasaka.
If I ever get back there. Japan. Yeah. Any others? What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up, guys? What's up, Beck?
Hold on, I gotta find this place now.
Yeah, I can't think of the island. There's the Southwest Islands.
Okinawa.
Okinawa. That's where I'd like to go.
You were right. Okay.
I didn't want to say it because I was embarrassed because I thought I was wrong.
No, you would have been right.
That's 10 points.
Well, hopefully we can meet up with you guys. When are you planning on traveling through, if you can still? August, July?
If we can make it work, I'd settle on getting to Sri Lanka and Indonesia. I think we meant to spend a month at least a month in Bali and do some hiking. There's so many little arpeggio islands in Indonesia that would be cool to hike and explore. But if I think if we could get to Sri Lanka and Indonesia, I would be content with that. I don't even know if we've been to on this trip. I think we've been to 15 maybe. So it's not like we haven't. Yeah, I think we've seen a lot. We've averaged easily over a country a month.
Yeah.
Closer to 1.5, right?
Yeah, it kind of depended. We got to places like Dubai where it was a little harder to move around, but when you get into Asia and most of Europe, you can just kind of pop through place to place pretty easily. So when you get ready to move, you just do.
Yeah, I mean, you guys do it the right way, though. You're not just like 3 days on the next country, 3 days. Like you guys are actually taking the time to see the country, to experience it, and I think that's like really awesome. And I hope to someday be able to do the same thing, take a year and like have that experience. It's so cool.
It was I don't want to say. I guess we get a lot of questions on like how do we do it. I mean, it's no different. It's just about what your goals are, right? Like the same people to do this, maybe they're saving for a house or maybe they're saving for this or that. Like it's the same principle. But I mean, I realize that we're lucky. We were in a good spot in life, right? Like we didn't own a house. Like we didn't have kids. So it was definitely an opportunity that not everybody can do. But I think everybody can afford it, right? Let me put it that way. If you really set your mind to it and you like traveling anyway, it can be done, and we can do it a lot cheaper than we've done it. I've looked back and I'm like, I don't know how we spent this much money, like here or there, like, cause we're in Asia, for crying out loud. Like, I just don't know how we.
And we met people, like, we do stay in homestays and hostels sometimes, and like we meet people mostly that are younger than us that do that completely. Like, we've met so many people who are 18 to 22 on this trip that make it with no money. They just take off and they're like, I'm gonna spend 6 months or a year and I'm gonna live in hostels. And so it's doable if that's, for most people, it's doable if that's your goal. Like, if you're willing to sacrifice eating out and going out and saving for whatever else, then it's possible.
Definitely.
Yeah. Budget savvy and points and miles can help make it happen.
Points and miles.
Points and miles made it happen.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without it, I promise.
It's crazy, like, what our lives are like and how different they are because of points and miles, and like what that hobby has, how that hobby has, like, so, just changed everything, like opportunities and just what we can accomplish and see. And it's just, I'm super thankful for like finding it, and I'm thankful that like we're all experiencing things that we like wouldn't have been able to before, and it's just really cool. I'm really glad that you guys are together and safe, and like you had an awesome trip until now, and I'm sure it's gonna pick up from there, hopefully, right? Fingers crossed.
We've seen so much that even if we have to go home after this, it's not like, oh man, we just left, and we've done a lot, we've seen a lot. It's been a fantastic 6-7 months. So 8 months. God, that's fast.
I can't believe it.
That's crazy. 7 months, 8 months. It's just, we've been out for a while.
Would you consider? Sorry?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, would you consider extending it? Like, is there a deadline that you have to be home for, or would you consider staying longer if you're able to travel again?
Like, money's obviously a big factor. If I could, I really liked and enjoyed the work I was doing before I left, and there's a lot of opportunities to do that remotely. Everybody knows what's the trendy term? Nomad, digital nomad.
Yes.
I could probably do that in the right situation, and we could continue to move around. I'm really starting to try to pick up opportunities to write about travel. So I think the future is pretty up in the air. This would be a great lifestyle to sustain. I could do this for a long time if the opportunity presented itself. I guess some people can do this and they're like, man, I miss my house. I want to buy a home and like settle down. And I think I could do this for at least a couple more years if the opportunity was right.
Yeah,
I love it.
At this point, we are planning to head home at the end of it, but we'll see what these next few months give us. It could be a good few months for us. I
can't believe we couldn't break through as influencers. Like, gosh, we tried.
Speaking of that, if anyone's looking to connect with you guys, where can they find you?
Oh yes, if they'd like to work with us or do something, we're at Wells World Tour on Instagram.
Wells World Tour on Instagram, and it's a great Instagram.
It's unreal. I just don't even know how you keep up with it.
It's a lot. It's we can do a whole podcast. We have a lot of basic travel fights about the blog, the Instagram, the social media. Just trying to keep up on everything. It's definitely
so much.
It could be like 6 full-time jobs. Like it's so much. Like I've been really focusing on writing, and I've been like churning out articles and just trying to kind of develop as a travel and finance writer. It's just so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really is.
A pretty big hit with the affiliations lately. So
yeah, but all of our links, like our personal links, ones we had before. It's like, I don't know. I hope things get back to normal soon. I have one recommendation for you guys though. So if things do get a little bit better and you can make it work budget-wise, it was pretty cheap. I think it's actually the cheapest place in the world to get scuba certified is in Koh Tao, and that's not
really?
far.
Man.
That's what
Yeah.
7 Andrea
We're staring at that island. It's right out the window. We just
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not far, and then
No.
we got
No.
certified there.
We can't get to it. The ferry service is suspended, but I really would like to do that.
Yeah. Oh, there's a way. It's the place we did it at was called Bands. It was a really cool little like hipster scuba shop. Really safe.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like the cheapest one of the cheapest. I think it's the cheapest island in the world to get scuba certified. I'm pretty sure.
We
It's
just
like
had friends stay with us. Like they came from Kotal on their way back to Toronto. And I said, just come stay here because we have the extra bedroom. And they said that there was something like 80 dive shops on that island.
yeah, it's
There was a dive shop at every other store or something.
yeah, supply and demand. You can probably get a real good rate right now if you could find your way over there. Like free scuba. Actually, Karen, I think that's how they started like their whole social media presence. I remember watching some of their episodes when they're in Thailand. That's when they had like gotten the idea that they could like make kind of like social media like posts and stuff for like in exchange for like services. Something to throw out there.
Yeah, I think we there's a bit of missed opportunity on our part. I think we tried to get into vlogging a little bit. She doesn't love being on camera, so like I said, well, we could do this. Like we have the equipment to vlog and like vlog at high cinematic quality too. We have a good camera bag full of stuff, but I think I'm focused on making just some more travel videos that don't look like traditional vlogs. So that's kind of my project, but it's definitely in my eyes been a missed opportunity to do that because it's so easy. We could think of 1,000 different things to make content about, right? But
oh my god, yeah.
It's definitely not easy though. I disagree with that. It's so much work.
We have
nothing but time, and we can't. I don't know. The vlog never called to me, but we'll figure out something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make some good videos. I've definitely seen. I'm trying to think. I've definitely seen a couple of your videos that I thought were like really, like they look super professional.
Thanks, man.
I'm trying to think of which one it was. It was almost like a commercial or something.
Was it the Thailand one, the elephant one?
Yeah.
Well, so that was actually like we got work with an elephant sanctuary. Like we visited the elephant sanctuary, paid as like a customer. It was actually really expensive. I couldn't believe it. I think it was like over almost $100 a person to visit the sanctuary.
Wow. Yeah, that was like one of the most expensive things we did.
Oh man. Anyway, I just approached them and I was just like, hey, I'm pretty passionate about your product. Can I make a video for you? And they were all for it. And it was just like a quick 1-minute video, and I had so much fun doing it. Those elephants are so well taken care of, and when we see elephants on the side of the road in Thailand, you probably saw a lot on Koh Samui that were getting like ridden on by chains. It like just breaks my heart now.
We actually have at the bottom of the hill like an elephant place, and it's definitely one of the places where they ride them, but there's no one here right now, so they're just kind of like wandering around, and they're so cute. I love them.
That's nice. Yeah, Phuket, it was so sad. Like there was definitely some elephants that were kind of like locked into small areas. But, yeah. So, oh my god, I just like lost my train of thought. I don't know. I hope that we can meet up in the future. And maybe if it's not this summer, when you guys are back in Texas, and grab a barbecue and some beers and talk about travel.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did Dallas not too long ago.
Austin, you gotta come to Austin.
So we'll meet up in Austin and do a food tour.
Perfect.
Oh my God.
We have not been to Austin, and I really have been dying to go. So we'll wait for you guys to come there, and we'll I guess meet in real life, because we actually have known you guys for a while, but don't actually know each other in person.
Yeah.
This is like our first face-to-face chat. And we talked for like
maybe we'll do the Vegas party if it happens.
Oh my
Yes.
God, the Vegas party. Bryce, where you at, man?
I think they're doing a chat now.
Did you notice he opened up his own live event against yours?
I know. Come on, Bryce.
Wow.
Come on, Bryce.
We had this planned out.
Yeah, way in advance.
Anyway, we wish you guys luck with the rest of your travels. I hope you can get back on the road soon. and you could at least visit a couple more places that you've been wanting to go to before your trip's over.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming on tonight, and it's really nice
Thank you.
talking to y'all. We'll be posting your social media links in the posts. Hopefully everybody follows you guys, because I love following you guys, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day, because it's morning.
Yeah.
Day's just
Yeah, have a good evening, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.